Hey there, Seb by the Realtor here. In this video, I'm going to explain why there are no homes for sale in the Bay Area. If you're trying to buy a home in the Bay Area and you're wondering where is all the inventory, then you're definitely going to want to watch this video. It seems like it's been years now that we've been dealing with the situation of low inventory. There's just very few homes for sale. And, our old friend, the law of supply and demand, dictates that when there's no inventory for sale, what happens to home prices? Home prices go up while demand remains strong, and that explains why even in the face of these high mortgage rates, we are still seeing prices that are maybe even climbing higher, which seems counterintuitive, but yet that appears to be the situation here in the Bay Area. And you're wondering why? Why is it that there are no homes for sale? Because the law of supply and demand also says that when, prices rise because there's limited supply, more supply should be created to meet that demand, which would then bring prices down, but that hasn't happened. So what are the factors which are keeping supply of housing so constrained here in the Bay Area? And not just in the Bay Area, but really, honestly, nationally as well. So I have a whole bunch of slides that I'm going to take you through that do a great job of explaining where all the inventory is. So buckle up, stay tuned, and check this out. First of all, of course, we have the increase in population, which is driving demand for housing. We are up over about 350 million people in the United States, so that obviously is putting strain on the housing stock because we have not been building enough homes to keep up with our rising population. Now, when you combine that rising population with a shortage of homes for sale, you know what happens. Prices are going to rise up almost irrespective of what's going on with mortgage interest rates. And interestingly, as we can see that population is increasing, what is happening is that the number of new listings coming on the market, I'm not talking about new homes built, I'm talking about homes which are actually listed for sale, has been decreasing over the long term. And what that means is that you have a low supply of inventory. Check out this slide here. This is the U.S. months of supply of inventory, or MSI, going back to 2000. And as you can see, there was a big spike in inventory right around the time of the mortgage crisis. But then it's gone down, and it's way down. Nationally, we are about a 3.5 month supply of inventory, which is very low nationwide. And in the Bay Area, it's less than that, perhaps around 2.5 months of supply. And what happens when you have a very limited supply of homes? Why? It takes less time for homes to sell. Here you can see in this chart that the days on market has been in sharp decline since 2011, and today it is almost the lowest days on market as it's been at any point over the past 13 years, except at the very bottom of the COVID-19 pandemic. One thing I think that is also driving the shortage of supply is who are buying homes today? Well, it turns out that most home buyers today, they are an older demographic. They are in the 55 to 64 year age range. That they make the single biggest block of buyers, followed by the 40 to 54 year old age range. These are people who typically buy a home and stay in it for a long time, possibly even till the end of their days. When homeowners are younger, they typically will buy one home as a startup home, maybe a second home. Those homes they might not hold on to so long, but as people are aging, they are holding onto homes much longer than has been typical in the past, leading to a shortage of new homes for sale. And here you can see it. The period of home ownership has skyrocketed. In 2021, nationwide, people were owning homes for an average of about 13 years before they sold them. In California, thanks to Prop 13, which disincentivizes people from ever selling their homes, it's more like an average of 13 to 18 years. And I believe that actually in the Bay Area, it is somewhere over 20 years on average that people own their homes before they end up selling them. That is a lot longer than people used to own their homes. Conventional wisdom said, all the time that I've been in real estate until the past few years, it was always said, gee, the average time that people own a home is 7 years. Certainly not here in the Bay Area, and this long tenure of home ownership is a key factor in keeping homes off the market. Another important factor is that more people are owning second homes. You can see here in this chart that nearly 17% of homes are sold to non-owner occupants, people who are going to own them as investment properties, as rental properties, or as second homes. And look at this chart right here. This chart shows the percentage of homes which are sold to all cash buyers. In January 2024, it was about 32% of all homes nationwide were sold to cash buyers. Cash buyers typically hold their homes for a good long time because they are seen as long-term safe haven investments for all that cash. And at the other end of the spectrum, here you can see a chart showing the percentage of homes sold to first-time home buyers. As you can see, there are very few first-time home buyers, and that's important to know how many homes will be for sale in the... And at the opposite end of the spectrum, look at this chart here, which shows first-time home buyers. As you can see, not that many first-time home buyers are buying homes these days, which does not bode well for the future supply of homes because, again, these first-time home buyers are the ones who are more likely to turn their homes over quickly versus those cash buyers who are much more likely to hold onto their homes for the very long term. One issue that is often brought up when discussing why there are no homes for sale is underinvestment of housing in the United States for extended period of time. This chart right here shows underinvestment in the United States, but in California especially, we have been underbuilding housing for about the last 40 or 50 years. But this chart right here shows that in the United States, there was a big drop-off in new home construction as a result of the mortgage crisis, and that has left us with a very big hole in our housing inventory. We just simply do not have enough homes to meet the demand for our current rising population. And this chart right here shows you how bad California has been doing with new construction. We are actually tied for third in the country with third worst housing production. You can see here that California has produced only 21 to 29 new units of housing for every 100,000 residents. And of course, one reason why it might be so expensive to build housing in California is because the land in California is extremely expensive and getting more expensive. And in fact, it is extra expensive in the Bay Area. This chart right here shows how much do zoning regulations add to the cost of land, which of course land is at least half the cost of any house or condo or whatever that you're likely to buy. The cost of regulation is out of control in the Bay Area, and that leads to really, really exorbitant pricing for homes in the Bay Area. And look at this. This is a chart showing the U.S. median single-family home price going back to 1990. It's been spiraling upwards for 30 or 35 years, and this is a result of the structural imbalance we now have in the U.S. housing market between supply and demand. It is showing up very clearly here in this chart in ever-rising home prices. And look at this chart right here. This is mortgage interest rates, long-term trends since the year 2000. Look at the right side of that chart. What do you see? You see that big, huge spike in mortgage interest rates. But if you remember the last chart, which was U.S. median home prices were rocketing up even as mortgage rates were rocketing up. A lot of people would say, okay, well, when mortgage rates go up, home prices go down. Turns out that actually is not true and has rarely been true. The reason why mortgage rates go up is because there's a demand for money. That means there's a lot of economic activity. When this demand for money and economic activity meets with a limited supply of homes, home prices can rise even in the face of higher borrowing costs because of that really constrained supply. And what does that mean? That means, unfortunately, that U.S. housing affordability is maybe the worst on record. This only goes back to 1989, but as you can see, the average homeowner in the United States is spending about 27% of their total income on their housing costs. That really makes it very difficult for housing prices to reach any higher, or at least for most Americans to be able to comfortably or reasonably afford a housing payment. So as you can see, there are a myriad of reasons why supply has been so low in the United States, California, and the Bay Area for so long. There are many factors which are driving that, while at the same time, there are a number of factors which are driving demand for homes, even in the face of higher mortgage interest rates. That means that prices are going to go up. At the same time, affordability is going down. Now, at some point that will change, because at some point there will be a decrease in demand. That's going to happen if there were, for example, a zombie apocalypse or a major unemployment event like we had during the Great Recession, something like that. There could be some black swan event that comes along and really tamps down demand and resets the market, brings prices down significantly, making them more affordable and creating more opportunity for general home buyers, not just the rich and famous. All right, well, that is all I have for this video, and I hope you have enjoyed watching it, and if you have enjoyed it, I'm guessing, just a guess, that you might also enjoy some of these videos over here. These are some of the most popular videos here on my YouTube channel, so please do take a look. All right, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and please stay tuned.